Hi everyone, hope you guys are doing great. Peter Liciaga here, and I'm actually waiting for my sister to come on. She's in California, so she's making her way here virtually. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and talk about this idea of creating safe environments, emotionally safe environments, psychologically safe environments, physically safe environments, mentally safe environments, especially with all that's going on. But not just because of what's going on these days, but this should be a mindset. This should be our goal for always, right? To create safe environments for our kids, and whether it's online, virtual, or whether it's in person. So there's a couple of things that I wanted to do. Now, first of all, let me just go ahead and share a little bit about me. Some of you that would be watching this on the replay, or are you watching it live? You can comment below. Make sure you guys comment. Let me know that you're here, where you're from, and even if you're watching on the replay, just go ahead and comment and let me know where you're from. I'd appreciate that. And I have my sister's messaging me right now, so she's coming on there. Now I want to tell you a little bit backstory of why I decided to do this now. I'm in a lot of conversations with parents, being a martial arts instructor and educator. I've been doing this for over 20 years. And every day I work with youth, parents, educators, and community leaders. And things come up where we talk about, okay, what's the best thing to do to solve this? Like there was several years ago, the bullying really became something that was a real issue, a real issue, a situation where it turned into a problem, and we needed to do something really fast. And one of the things that came out of this conversation, I connected with a lot of my friends that were therapists, psychologists, martial artists that have been teaching anti-bullying skills. Hi, Andrea, how are you? Great to have you here. Let me know if you want to come on live too. I can actually have you in here. Let me go ahead and give you an invite. So if you wanted to come on here and join in on the conversation, you can. So let me go ahead and I'll message that to you. But uh, I'll send it to you. Send it to you. But yeah, because I'm sure you have some thoughts on this. Join live. If you feel up to it, you don't have to. Okay, you definitely don't have to. But I appreciate you being here. Okay, and anyway, Mary's making her way here. So anyway, I got together with friends of mine that were in several fields. They were experts and professionals in several fields, and we were talking about what do we need to do. And the biggest idea that came out of this conversation was creating safe environments, and mentally, emotionally, and we went beyond this bullying thing, because the idea was that, okay, it's not just about bullying, it's about um, having our kids feel safe. And then this topic came up again, and I'm studying being indistractable. Nir Ayel wrote, let me go ahead and get my sister in here. And how do I join? Can I join from my computer? Of course, of course. Use use link. I gotta tell her use link. Okay, and he's talking about, Nir Ayel wrote this is the book that I'm reading right now. I'm actually scheduled to get together with this writer tomorrow, and we're going to talk about how we can help. And one of the things he mentioned is that we have to create psychologically, kids have to feel psychologically safe. That's important, right? And that tapped into this conversation I had several years ago, was creating safe environments, emotionally, psychological, right? And mental and emotionally safe environments. And very important. So this is why I wanted to talk about this today. And there's a couple of things that I have here, that suggestions. So what I wanted to do is share some suggestions with everyone that I have. And as a martial arts instructor, and I'm an expert in creating safe environments and self-defense. This way we can defend against any potential danger. And what I'll share right now, three key things that I tell all our students, everyone, is first of all, and this is, I created this diagram is here, and my sister's saying she's in. You are not in. Okay, there she is. Here she's coming in. Okay, we're gonna add her in. Hi, Mary. How are you? Now,
Good, how are you?
Mary. Now, before I introduce you officially to everyone, I've already started a conversation with everyone, and so what I want to do is continue my thought. That I'm gonna bring you on in. Okay, so thank you so much. Be patient. I appreciate your patience. But so guys. I have some things here that I wanted to share with you. And the number one thing when I create safe environments were these three things I call the A game. An A game. And all my students know about the A game. Parents know about the A game. I always test them every once in a while. I'll ask them, what's your A game or how's your A game? And kids that know, the parents that know, will let me know. Okay, on the scale from 1 to 10, how's your A game? Well, the A game is simply this. And then I'm going to introduce my sister to you officially. And three A's, three A's as part of our ABCs of self-defense, okay, or the ABCs of creating emotionally, psychologically, mentally, and physically safe environments. It works. It's because it's an idea, it's a concept, and this is it. The A game is A is awareness, right? Being aware of where you are and who you're around, but more importantly, how you're feeling. So there's internal awareness and external awareness. Okay, and then the next thing is assessment, considering and thinking about what's going on externally and internally. Again, the idea. And then the last one, once you become aware of a situation internally and externally, you assess the situation internally and externally, and then you move, which is the third A, to the right appropriate action. Okay, so this has to be in place. So what I want to do is I'm gonna pause right there, with this chat, and I want to bring in my sister Mary. This is my baby sister, not so much a baby. She's a full-grown woman with a lot of great experience that she's going to share. And Mary, I'm going to let everyone know who you are and what you're about and how to get a hold of you. By the way, guys, if you have a question for me, you want to connect with me, just comment in the comment section below. Okay, Mary, introduce everyone. Introduce
Hi.
yourself to everyone.
Yes. Hello. Thank you so much, Peter. I love you. I appreciate you and I respect you and I always look up to you. My name is Mary Liciaga. I am Peter's baby sister and I am your spiritual awakener. Like if you need help with waking up your spirit, you can contact me. You can send me a message also in the private message. And if you want to know more about what that is and what that means to you, please contact me and I can elaborate on that. I know that's a big statement and you get curious of what that means. And so if you have questions, you can ask them and you could also private message me like my brother as well. And so, I have a lot of experience in waking up my spirit, and so now it's like you can't keep it unless you give it away. So I've
Great.
been
Well,
yeah, honored.
I appreciate that. Well, we're getting some feedback. Can you are you, let me check. Oh, well, good. Okay, good. So, I know that I decided for you and I to come together to talk about creating safe environments, emotionally, psychologically, mentally, and spiritually safe environments and some ideas. We're going to talk about some things that you can do. And I know your experience. Give people a sense of your background because, if someone doesn't know you, let everyone know what your background is, what you've been doing for for the last close to 20 years. And I think 16 years, you're going to celebrate maybe your 16th or 17th year.
16 years.
16. Okay, because
Yeah.
yeah, tell everyone what you've been doing and and why this is a great opportunity for us to have you share.
Okay, yeah, this is a great question because I'm a parent partner. Now, what that means, I work with parents with at-risk youth, and I've been doing that since October 24th of 2004. And I was a graduate of the program that I'm working for. They offered me a job to work in. At first, my first response was like, "Oh my God, I don't want to hear anybody else's problems. I have enough of my own." But then when I realized, the impact that I can make I said yes, and and I accepted the position. And it's been a learning process, learning how to work with different families, all different families, because I can work with, very rich or very poor, and it doesn't matter what neighborhoods. I work in the projects and I work in Beverly Hills, and it's, I'm able to adapt to, getting to know people. And the most important thing that I've learned throughout the course of my 16 years is learning how to listening to people, because we want to be heard, and we need that, like, to show people, like, I'll take notes when people tell me something, and then I'll reflect back what they said, and they feel heard. And that's been the most important lesson that I've learned, is just being quiet and listening, and not thinking about what to say while they're talking, because if I'm doing that, I'm not listening. And the answers will come at what's supposed to be said. If I'm listening, I will intuitively know. And that's what I've learned, through the course of my 16 years. I've worked with all types of parents. I've worked with lawyers. I've worked with, women who, are call girls. I've worked with, therapists and doctors, and all types of, people, supporting them at court, supporting them in school meetings, supporting them building, skill sets. Maybe the parenting skills that we were doing are not working. And so, so hurt people. And so the thing is, when I help the parents and focus on the parents, the kids' behaviors get better, because what happens is the kids have big behaviors because maybe the homes are dysfunctional. I'm guilty of that, and so I worked on a lot of change. And so, it's been a humbling experience. And so I've been gotten live with my story to help other families to find that deep inner healing that I've been blessed to have.
Yeah,
So, yeah.
I know that that's an amazing story, amazing experience, and such value in your real life experience. And those of you that know me know, and I'm sure there's some of you here that don't know me, but I'm not going to go through my background yet. But if you do know me, you know I'm all about really. Learning from your life, real life experience, because that's the real wisdom. So we're going to, Mary and I are going to come together. We're going to really talk about this idea of creating safe environments. And like I said, near IL, I'm supposed to meet with, we're scheduled to meet with the writer of Indistractable. And he's got a bestseller, a Wall Street Journal. What was it? Where's the bestseller? Well, anyway, his bestseller book, Hooked, okay, really got a lot of attention. And then this was his follow-up, Indistractable. And within this book, he mentions about psychological safety. That one, no matter what the environment is, whether it's at home, in school, at work, wherever, if someone does not feel psychologically safe, they're going to be, and in my mind, remembering what Mary said to me several years ago when we spoke, they're going to be in a survival mode, a survival state. And that clicked with me, which had me thinking, oh my gosh, he's talking about creating safe environments, and where people could go in, they psychologically feel safe, but also emotionally and spiritually and physically. And this COVID, this pandemic really, really, and I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. So this is what we're going to talk about. So we're going to take our wisdom that we've from our lives, and we're going to share some things that you guys can think on, meditate on. I'm sure you have ideas. Those of you that are listening and watching have ideas of what you might do, what someone might do. So survival. This big lesson for me, because we're talking about people feeling safe on all levels. Okay, and so share with. I'd love for you to share this idea of first bringing someone to a state of feeling safe. Okay, and because basically I know what I learned from you, and this is what I do too. When I meet a new client, when a parent brings a child, I'm talking about as a martial artist, and a parent brings a child to me, I teach as young as 3.5 years old up through adults. When they bring a child to me, or they come to me, the first thing I need to establish is that you're safe here. Okay, and so and I learned that from you, Mary, many years ago. So share a little bit on this idea of helping someone feeling safe coming out of this survival mind state?
Well, for me, something that I've really learned is that when I'm meeting somebody like for the first time, I really need to, before I meet with them, I need to check myself. I need to check myself and to get grounded. Like before we met today, I did a 30-minute meditation at 5 a.m., followed by a 30-minute breath work, followed by a meeting, and then an hour of a workout. And how here we are, and so and then I can be like, if I have to take care of myself first before I'm opening myself to be of service to somebody else. I have to be full. And then having said that, then the next step is when I meet them, I want to be still. I want to not be fidgety, be really present, not make them nervous by staring in their eyes, because sometimes that makes people feel uncomfortable. Kind of get a feeling of who they are, how they are, what their comfort level is, but just kind of keep being still, you know, and just starting with basic conversation. Hi, how are you? Where are you from? Like different things to just like engage in a conversation, but not fidgeting my leg, because I know I've been with professionals who fidget their leg and that makes me nervous. And so I want to just be still and not moving my arms around a lot and not sitting like cross arms or cross legs. I want to have my feet like firmly, and modeling this to them, my feet firmly grounded on the ground, my arms uncrossed, so I'm not showing any kind of body language, and then looking at them with curiosity and with care, that I'm here to help them, having that look, and before I do that, I say a little prayer that, make me a channel of your peace. And then when I'm able to connect with source, for me, this is what works. When I'm able to connect with source and get grounded within myself, I'm not coming from a place of ego. And so that's what's important. And so yeah, so I think that that's kind of what I do with engaging people for the first couple times.
Well, it's fascinating because there's like a couple of things that I took out of that. Number one, self-awareness, right? Self-awareness, and then preparation, and that's the number one thing. If you go anywhere, is preparation, preparing for that. And I do basically the same thing in the mornings. Before, it takes me probably about 3 hours to get myself ready before I engage with someone, and have the right mindset, the right heart, and the body with the energy to meet the needs. And so then, which you're talking about self-awareness, and then once you get with someone, you're talking about then purposely having the right body language, but then modeling and maybe mirroring at times, where you mirror what they're doing. This way, okay, and you almost really get to know them, how they communicate, and then it sounds like you then communicate within. It's almost like someone has a different kind of language. If you were to be able to, and you could, you'd speak their language.
Right.
Okay,
Right.
and
Exactly.
then the number one thing that I know I learned this in martial arts. If I was going to grow and expand, I had to leave the ego at the door. I had to get rid of self, and really, and that takes a lot of prayer, meditation, and purposeful prayer, purposeful meditation, and other things, like breathing exercises, mindful breathing, all this, which I do as well. And so these are some suggestions for other people, and I think that's great. Now the survival state, again, this helps with that, helps people. So if we were to create an environment, when you create an environment for someone to come in during these days, right now the kids are, because they're going into school, parents going to stores, and I know I'm feeling it. I know that when the first week of school, when my son went back to school, and we got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, everything was cool, and he's doing it virtually, but we thought everything was cool, and maybe playing with the idea, maybe so that he can go back in person at least part of the time. And then Friday, late Friday, I remember Renee woke me up saying the school just sent a message saying student tested positive, no classes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that, the moment I was ready to take it off, I put the mask back on, and my guards went up again. And so I was getting this sense of safety, and I recognized that within myself. And then all of a sudden, I was dropping my guards to, okay, I can let down my defenses, this state of survival. But as soon as that happened, it went right back up. And and the next day, I saw that with our students that were coming live to our schools. And we had a percentage that are coming live, a big percentage doing virtual, but a lot of the ones that were coming live, all of a sudden they jumped up to virtual. And so let's talk about that. What more can teachers, parents, educators do to create safe environments, emotionally and psychologically safe environments? Because the world stays the same. And so I know you've had experience where you go into it, and what do you do knowing from your experience that when you go into a situation, it doesn't change overnight, but how do you mitigate what's going on so that you can build a sense of safety?
Well, that's a really good question. That's a really good question. And I've been, because I have a granddaughter who's 8 years old, I have an empty nest. So I don't have the experience of having to homeschool right now, but I am having the experience of witnessing my daughter, who has an 8-year old. She's a single mother and she's working from home. She's working virtually and she's having to be, parent her daughter. And so, what I've been helping her to incorporate for myself as a grandparent, as a support, as a mom who's been a mom, who's in a crisis with us all, like we're all in this together. I have different copanisms that I utilize and that I share them with them. Like, for instance, I have like a rock, whether, whatever it is, like if I'm in a difficult meeting, like in school, my granddaughter has anxiety. It's hard for these kids to sit in front of this computer and learn this way, so we have to find a way to normalize it, because right now this is the way it is. So, not giving it energy that, oh my God, we gotta, like, this is the way we gotta do it. No, we gotta just normalize it. This is the way it is. And so, how we're going to find a way to make this work. So I have a diffuser going right now with grounding essential oil. I've gotten my granddaughter some essential oil that's a grounding oil that she puts on her palms, and she'll smell it, and it helps her to calm down. She's got these little things, these fidget tools, that she's able to stay present in front of the computer, you know, and the teacher, called her on it. My daughter was a really good advocate and sent him an email saying, this is one of my daughter's coping mechanisms. Please do not embarrass her in front of her peers about this, because this is how she's staying focused. So we need to find what works for our youth. Maybe that doesn't work for them, but finding something. I also got her this big ball. It's a ball that she can sit on while she does her work also, and she might roll on it, but she's paying attention. So we just need to normalize it, even though it's not normal, but we don't have to give that any energy. So we have to just, like, work with where we're at, how it is, and not, give it any energy that it's a bad thing. it's
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
yeah, I definitely, what I'm hearing you saying is that finding something definitely that's going to help your child, help you, that to cope with the situation. And I also hear this idea of communication. I got this as you were talking. I was thinking of self-communication, which is one of the things that I do teach to our students, and this is something that I practice myself. Is and right now I'm calling it a narrative. You create the narrative. Do
Hmm.
not allow any external people or organizations to create your own narrative. And I remember many years ago I read a book called One Thing God Cannot Do, and I was fascinated by that. And so I got the book, and I said, well, that's true. God cannot do that. And what God cannot do, that we have the power, only we have the power, is to make decisions, our choices. We choose.
Hmm.
And that's powerful. And so, as you were speaking and talking about different coping mechanisms and some ideas, some things that you use and your granddaughter uses, and your daughter uses, I was thinking that we need to encourage people to create their narrative, the narrative that's going to encourage them, inspire them, motivate them, empower them, so that they can overcome a clear and present challenge. And because life, I mean, we look at history, and we can see how powerfully, how empowering moments like this in history was for mankind,
Or
for
adaptive.
us. Exactly. And so we can see that. And so the first thing I thought of was, and this is how I created my narrative, is that I'm going to get stronger and grow. And the connectivity that I have now with people is greater. You and I are talking about this. And of course, we've connected with our siblings, and we're talking more than we've ever in our lives. And there's so many great things, and helping our youth and our children see that, and then creating those narratives that, hey, this is this is great. We get a chance to do this. We get a chance to do that, and really finding uh, ways that this is a powerful, powerful opportunity. And I think that's going to help. And so if they come sit down, how many kids are sitting down right now, or even teachers, educators? I know educators that refuse to teach online because they have this great fear, and then that is transferred. And how powerful would it be? And this is what I strive for, and I know you do as well, to have my state of mind, preparation to come in. I'm coming in here, and this is going to be the best experience ever.
Ever.
And guys, I'm so glad you guys are here. I'm loving it.
Oh
And
yeah.
yeah, and so it's been so helpful me to have that mindset. And I learned that with a mentor of mine. I used to have this. I had kids that come that you would see that one child would come, and you say, "Oh my gosh, oh, here comes that kid's going to stress me out," and they never listen. And so I was sharing this with my mentor, and he said, "Peter, can I suggest something for you?" And I said, "Absolutely, please. If it's going to help, please." He says, "I suggest you do this. Change how you communicate to yourself, and change what you know how you perceive that child." He said, when that child comes, say to yourself first, "I'm so glad this child is here." And then you speak it to the child. You call their name. "I'm so happy you're here. Oh my goodness. We're going to have a great class. I can't wait to find out what we're going to learn in class. Now I'm going to do my best. Are you ready to do your best? Give me a high five, a hug. Let's do it." And he told me that in the morning, and I went back that night and implemented that idea, and I've been doing it ever since. It changed my mindset, it changed my state, it changed the state of the student and the parents, because everyone was feeling that for this child. All of a sudden, here I come with this idea, and just embracing the child, embracing the reality of that child. Because my friend Dave, his name was Dave, he told me that, think that this child's probably heard this his whole life, hears this from every. And so, going back to our ability to communicate and creating a narrative and making it real, and transferring this energy and this mindset and this attitude and this narrative to our children, sitting down, create a way that it's an experiential, that's going to enlighten them, empower them, and bring them to a whole new level of awareness,
Mm.
internally and externally. This idea to get with someone one on one like this and connect, or in a group class. And so give me some. Go ahead, share your
Uh,
thoughts.
yeah, I have a few thoughts as you were talking, and I'm so grateful that I was listening, and I put those thoughts on the back burner, and they stayed back there, so I was here 100%. So one of the things that I was thinking, and you shared this, that book, that you focus, stay focused, focus, focus, right? And so, like, as a parent, there's a few things that I was like feeling, as in listening. And that is, when I'm with, like, here, I'm with you right now. I turned my phone upside down and it's on do not disturb, right? So I'm 100% here. I'm not anywhere else. I'm not where I need to be next. I'm here, and kids need that too. When us as parents, our caretakers, when I'm with my granddaughter, I put my phone away and I'm with her 100%. She feels me. She hears me. We work together. We engage. I'm teaching her. Every time I'm with her, I use it as an opportunity for her to be my teacher and me to be her teacher. I learn from her as well. And I'm open to learn from her, because I don't know it all. And so, I mean, I think that's really important that they're little human beings. That's one thing. And then the other thing I was thinking, because, many of us come from traumatized homes, right? And so now we have this thing, and parents have to be responsible for their kids, but maybe it's tapping into their own childhood trauma. So we have to find whatever that is, and see what that is. When somebody, like for me, I'm going to give an example. I wrote my life story. As you know, I wrote a book, and it hasn't been edited. It will be out one day. It's not a priority. It's a bonus. I'm super excited about it. And I get spirit guided to continue working on it. And I haven't been spirit guided yet because I've been working on other things. So, but what I got from writing this story is that when I don't get my way with anybody, the little girl inside of me wants to lay on her belly and kick and scream and punch and scream. You know what I mean? And then when I feel like somebody's crossed me, whoever it is, whether it's even a boss or something, the teenager in me wants to kill them. It's just like a violence, so I have to watch that. Then the adult Mary will, honor all the little Marys because all of the Marys are inside of me. And so I have to honor all of them. And I have to sometimes say, it's okay. Just stay calm, baby. I know. Some people are just, we're all, finding our way, and so whatever, and I have to say, it's not their fault, it's not their fault, and so, like, the adult Mary takes control and doesn't act out most of the time. Sometimes the little Marys will take control, you know what I mean? Then I have to make an amends. So I have to check that part of me, but knowledge is power. And knowing that those little Marys are operating inside of me, then I can live from the adult Mary inside of me and not be reactive to the circumstances that are happening around me. And so, like, my granddaughter might trigger my little Mary, and so my little Mary will get in the ring with my granddaughter. And so it's like an 8-year-old with an 8-year-old. So that is what I have to check, because she's a child and I need to be her mentor as well as she'll be my mentor. And I will admit it to my granddaughter. I'm like, wow, that was like really you know not good of grandma, and I'm really sorry. And I own that. So I'm modeling that, what, I'm an adult, but I make mistakes, but I can, like, uh check my ego and call myself on it to her, because then that helps her to be a wholesome person. So that's what came up for me.
Yeah, and as you speak, everything kept coming in saying self-awareness, being connected with what's who you are, and staying connected, staying aware, constant and never-ending assessing your state, everything, and then choosing the right action. And that always comes up. And as you were saying, sharing, that's powerful. And the power that we parents and teachers have to create safe environments, it's, I guess, the number one thing, and we're going to have to wrap this up because I have a client after this, but the number one thing I think is that we start with us. And so wherever we go, we have the opportunity to create safety in every environment. So it's not the physical space, it's each individual at the psychological, the spiritual, and the mental level, and then making the choice to create a physical state that is congruent with what we know is the right appropriate action with respect to what we've assessed internally, that of which we become aware of, self-awareness. And so that, for me, is again another reminder of how we can create these safe environments. It starts with the individual, starts with the teacher, community leader, coming into it with the goal. Again, ego is a very dangerous. Okay, but we need that ego, but we
Mhm.
need it in the context that's going to serve us and serve the people there. And so as we wrap it up, I'm going to have to wrap it up. I love this. There's so much, and I have to go back and listen to this video so I can take notes. And what are your final thoughts? That would be my final thought, is self-awareness, and it starts with the individual. So what would you share as a final thought with this conversation? That's a dialogue that's going to continue.
Oh yeah, definitely. No, and it's really interesting because I prayed before I came on here for creative to channel through me like I do, and I tried to do that with every interaction I have. And what comes to me is that it's very important for me every day to feed my body, mind, and spirit every day, and then to teach how do I do that. I feed my body. I eat healthy food. I eat vegetables and I eat protein. I drink a lot of water. I feed my mind. I do meditation. I do breath work. I do yoga. I do body work. And then I feed my body, mind, and spirit. I read meditation books, and I read scriptures and stuff, and that helps me. And those are the tools that I use to help feed my body, mind, and spirit every day. It's a daily thing. I can't stay sane on yesterday's doing that. So it's a daily a daily job, and it's not even a job. It's just part of my life now. And when you get into the habit of doing it, it doesn't even become a habit. It just becomes your life.
Yeah, it's the first word that came to mind when the moment you said job, and I saw you changed it. As soon as you said that, the word gift came up, and it's a gift to get up every single morning, and then a gift to take your mind and expand your mind. It's a gift to feed your spirit and connect. Everyone has their core values, and mine is, I believe in God, and I connect with God. I pray, and so that's all a gift. The breath, everything's a gift, and getting out of the bed. Okay, my body's hurting, but it's a gift that I can move and feel the pain. Like some of my Marine friends would say, the pain is telling you you're still alive. And so yes. Now, Mary, if someone wants to get a hold of you, what can they do?
They can private message me. They can send me a message on Facebook. I'm on Facebook. You can friend request me, and then you can send me a message on Facebook. And I'm also on YouTube as well. My name is Miracle Mary on YouTube. And yes, so you could send Peter a message, and he can send my contact information as well if you're interested in contacting me. If you want more information on the different skill sets that I provide, please reach out and don't hesitate. You won't regret it. You won't regret it.
You're also on LinkedIn as well, right?
I'm also on LinkedIn as well. Right. Thank you
Right.
for reminding me
Yeah,
that.
LinkedIn
Yes.
as well. And so, hey guys, I'll go ahead and put those in the comments, those links in the comment section. And guys, do know that I have a couple of things that you can do. I have it in the link where I do have a personal development analysis that I created for parents with youth. It's just a questions where you go through, just ask a series of questions just uh, to to basically to check the state of your child. Some questions in that, and rate from 1 to 5. You could do that. I also am doing getting ready for 2021 and helping people prepare mentally to wrap up this year in a powerful way. And so, if you want to find out more about that, you could just go to liciagacall.com. And what that does then gives you some information. If you want to connect with me, you can do that. But of course, you can definitely connect with me through private message, or you could do comments. I'm easy to find. You could copy and paste my name and put me in Google, and I'm everywhere. And other than that, Mary, I'd love us to do this again and in
Yes.
the
I'd love
future.
to.
And
Mhm.
so maybe we could do it once a week. Maybe next Wednesday do it again. I think it'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Next Wednesday, and
Mhm.
you could share something that's on your heart that you think that we can have as a topic. Other than that, guys, thank you so much. I got
Yep.
10 minutes
Just
to get to my next client.
really, really quickly before we go, like as soon as I opened my eyes, because you mentioned this, I'm going to end with this. As soon as I opened my eyes, I rolled onto my mat and I got into my meditation 30 minutes. so that I could get channeled in and turn myself over to be guided throughout this day. And so if you need help with on techniques on how to do that, because some people have a hard time meditating, that's another area where I have a expertise in.
Yes, you do. She's incredible. The mindful breathing and so many things that you do. Mary, thank you so much. I love you. Everyone,
I
thank
love you
you
too. Thank you.
for watching, and I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you later. And
Yes.
this video will be put on my website and everywhere else.
All right. God bless everyone. God bless you, Peter. Love you. Big hug.
Okay, big hug. Bye.
Bye bye.